Good morning, everyone. Good morning for those who are watching us in different time zone. Good evening or good morning, and particularly for the person I will interview today, it's good evening. And my name is Marilyn. If it's your first time in this platform or in this show, I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited or CTS, and we are passionate about helping leaders and organizations who are continuous learners and action takers to transform and thrive in all aspects by co creating, contextualizing, and customizing programs with our world class resources. We have served over 3,000 leaders from over 30 countries in different industries, and that includes Petronas, Sony Mobile, ProLife UK, Ayala Group, Chevron, Tencent, Jollibee Foods Corporation, and Shell, to name a few. And the reason why we are organizing this or several interventions, including this interview, is to help leaders who don't know how to stay relevant and adapt to the next normal, those who find it stressful to lead and ensure performance of a hybrid team, and those who are afraid that they can't keep their team or their business. So, to be able to stay relevant and continue to lead effectively in any situation, do join us in this intervention. And today, it's my great pleasure to introduce our leader. Sheena Yap Chan is a keynote speaker, coach, and author on building self confidence. She is also the founder and host of the award winning podcast called The Tao of Confidence, where she interviews Asian women about the inner journey of self confidence. After going from having low self esteem to being the confident woman that she is today, Sheena uses her experience to help women overcome their self limiting beliefs to live a better life. Her podcast has gotten over 1 million downloads to date and has interviewed over 800 women on the topic of confidence. She has interviewed celebrities, eight-figure CEOs, and more. Sheena has been featured on Mind Valley, Fox, Thrive Global, Manila Times, and more. She is the top 10 self confidence or self love coaches to follow, which was featured in Disrupt magazine. She is also the co author of the international best selling books called Asian Women Who Boss Up and International Women of Colors Who Boss Up. So, without so much further ado, I'd like to invite Sheena. Hi, Sheena.
Hi, Mary Lynn. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's my pleasure to have you this time. It was a privilege that I was able to guest in your Tao of Confidence, and it was like what in 2015, and it was really an amazing experience. Not as confident as I wanted to be, but thank you for inviting me to your amazing show.
Yeah, no worries.
And yeah, so I'll be asking you several questions. And to start with, I'd like to find out from you to what's your leadership experiences like, and if you do have influencers or a favorite leadership style that you use as an entrepreneur and a woman who boss up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I call myself a leader. Maybe it's just me. But I mean, I think for me, being a leader is just leading by example, just going out there, taking action, showing others that it's okay to do certain things, right? Like promoting yourself, talking about things that are unjust, showing up as your authentic self. That's what it really is. It's not about who's in front, who's behind. It's showing you that it's possible, showing you that it's okay. And it starts with yourself, right? Especially if you want things to change, if you want things to yeah, if you want things to change, it has to start with yourself. So you got to go out there and make the first move, or you got to go out there and just take the first step, right? And I know sometimes the first step is the hardest,
True.
especially when we're in new territory. But once you take that first step, it becomes super magical, and then it just gives you the confidence to keep moving on.
Yes, very true. And I'd like to share with you as well that everyone is a leader, and I've been really inspired by what you have been doing in your work today. I mean, you definitely are a leader because you've been really speaking up and like sharing with people, or even like helping women like me to like boss up or to boost their confidence and to get rid of their limiting beliefs. And that for me is leadership as well, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, having said all the work that you have done, like I made mention a lot of those during my introduction. So having said that, and from your experience, what would you say would be the definition of leadership for you?
Like I mentioned, it's really just, leading by example, being able to show others what's possible. Um, that's, showing them that it's okay to do, what you're supposed to do, to forge your own path, to live life on your terms.
Mhm.
I think that's what being a leader is, like just going out there and doing what you want and showing others it's okay. Like leading by literally leading by example.
Thank you for that. And so, in my introduction as well earlier, I made mention around the next normal, and I wonder, like in your experience and where you are right now. I believe you're in Canada, right? So,
Yeah.
what do you, what would you, or how would you define and describe the next normal?
Um, I know a lot of people have learned to work from home because it's possible now. So, probably more of a hybrid thing. Of course, as much as we like working from home, I mean, human connection is important. It's always a different environment when you surround yourselves with people, in real life, right? Going to conferences, going to networking events, meeting people in person. It still makes a huge difference. So of course, probably having more of a hybrid thing. Of course, having online is great because now you can have clients from literally all over the world, which is
True.
great, right? Having that reach, but at the same time, we still need that human connection. It's just a part of us.
Yes, very true. And speaking of human connection, that also like both the challenge and opportunities for most of us during the pandemic, where like people really wanted that human connection, like what you've mentioned, or that connection that we always are built in for, right? Humans are built for that. But at the same time, we managed to actually adapt to that hybrid setting that you have mentioned, and at the same time, we get to leverage on technology as well in order to stay connected with our loved ones despite of the situation. And even at work, I mean, I had that experience before where they don't allow me to like work from home, but then now it's like become the normal, right? So thank you so much for sharing that experience and like how you define next normal. So I know you've mentioned earlier that no, I'm not even sure if I'm a leader, but from your experience working with a lot of women around the world, and most of them are professionals and entrepreneurs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what would you say would be the top three problems that they would normally face?
I mean, as women, we're so afraid about what other people think. So we tend to people please others and we forget to, take care of ourselves, right?
True.
Also, we overthink a lot. We want to make sure everything's perfect before we take that first step, but that really just stops us from taking any step.
Mhm.
And mental health, right? Mental health is still a huge taboo in so many cultures, but we have to learn to share what we feel, to even say, I'm not okay, right? Being able to have an outlet to let that out so that you can have, a better mental well-being, right? I mean, if you're gonna like keep it in all to yourself, you're going to explode like a ticking time bomb. So it's important to talk about it, to have resources where you can connect with a mental health professional or a therapist, right? And just talk, right? Just talk it out, just be able to have that outlet.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for reminding us on that. And again, it was a silver lining, that if I may say that the pandemic has brought into our life, because that highlighted the importance of being able to take care of yourself, and speaking up around mental health as well. Despite that, I remembered like a post of yours around mental health being a taboo, and now I mean, like most companies or leaders or even individuals and entrepreneurs, they have to think about how can we balance this, right? How can we actually take care of ourselves so we can take care and serve others as well, which is really important. And I'm glad that you actually share that in this question. So um having said that, what are the important leadership capability skills that you must have in the next normal to continue to lead effectively?
I think being able to just show up as your authentic self, having a big purpose that's bigger than you, because it makes a huge difference when you're doing something for everyone else versus doing it for yourself, right? Being able to empower women, having a voice, speaking up, and knowing that it's okay to make mistakes. Leaders aren't perfect, right? We all make mistakes, and it's okay. We can just course correct along the way. And if we make a mistake, we just own it and move forward, right? I think those are some of the qualities. Like, purpose is very important. Without that purpose, you're not going to go out there and do it. Having belief in yourself, having courage, having confidence, that all comes with leadership, because it's not easy, right? Being a leader, especially as an Asian woman, it's even harder because there's less Asian women in leadership. So sometimes you got to be the leading example to go out there and show them that it's okay to be a leader, right? You don't have to
Mhm.
do what your parents tell you or what society sees you as. So those are some of the qualities.
Wow, thank you for sharing all those with us. Let me just summarize that again for our audience. So, again, it's being able to show up, being authentic, having purpose, and part of that being a leader is having that confidence and courage to do so. And again, like, it's okay to have mistake, and I really love that you made mention that that it's okay to make mistake, because a lot of us, especially women, right? We have all this pardon for my word shit in our heads, right? So like we always think that, oh, we cannot do this, or she's better than me, or like, and oops, I am so afraid to do this because I might like have a wrong grammar, or might say something wrong, or might make any mistakes, right? And I mean, as human, we always have that, or that always happens, right? But at the same time, like, quite a lot of people are like do regret of not doing things just because they are afraid to make mistakes, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
So my next question then is, what do you believe will be the role of learning, leadership, and transformation in order to thrive in the next normal?
I think having more representation is important, being able to share our stories, being able to show up. It's so important, especially when it comes to, like women in leadership in general, right? There's, the gap between men and women, or it's a huge gap. And in order for us to break that cycle, is we need to build more leaders. We need to show up as ourselves. We have to show up as leaders. We got to show women what's possible, and also share our stories, right? And not just, not, and when I mean share stories, like share, the struggles and the challenges you had to overcome, because that's important, right? We can't tell people like being a leader is great and there's nothing like bad that happens. I mean, of course not. Of course things are going to happen. It's not going to be a linear journey. It's going to be like a roller coaster, and that's okay, right? Because we have a bigger purpose. We know what our end goal is, and we're going to keep doing it. So representation is really important, believing in yourself that you have what it takes to be a leader, because every single person does, right? And it's just really how they see themselves that really holds them back.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. And before I proceed to summarizing that, I'd like to say thank you to Moses for joining us. He said, it's great to be in this discussion. Good morning from India. Thank you so much. And oh, here's a long comment from here. So again, before we showcase ourselves to the world, we have to be prepared. Yeah, we have to prepare well and give the best shot of us on the stage of life. When we are able to win the hearts of people, we will be able to succeed to the top quickly. When we reach the top, we should never give up, be overconfident, but try harder to maintain our fame and prosperity forever. Yeah, thank you so much. This is a long um, comment, and I really appreciate you joining us this conversation, Moses. And again, Sheena, just to summarize what you have said, it's again having more representation, and sharing stories, and probably more opportunities for women, right? And that's also like one of the silver linings that the pandemic has brought about in the last 2.5 years. Like more women are actually speaking up and like stepping up as a leader, and that's what we need in this next new normal, or whatever you want to call it, right? That women, to like what you said in your book, boss up, or to step up, to show up, because their stories are as important as other leaders, right? And they have to like show that, stop all those limiting beliefs, and show up, have the courage to show up, and to be confident enough to share your purpose in life to the world, because the world needed that, right? And so that leads me to my last two questions.
Yep.
These are often very open questions, and often I would call this the Miss Universe questions. So my question is, if you have a magic wand that you can use, what will you do with it?
um wow. um Probably, um oh my god, that's a great question. I guess for to help each and every woman see their potential, give them the power of belief, give them the power of confidence and courage, so they could see that how capable they are to, create the life that they want, to show up, to empower others, to inspire others, and inspire themselves in the process.
That's beautiful. I really wish that you have your magic wand with you, so that we can reach more women to see their potential. I mean, like we are all amazing, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that about it's about living our purpose, living our role in life, and being able to believe in ourselves, right? That we have that potential that we can actually share to others, and that's beautiful. I mean, even without the magic wand, I mean, that's already what you have been doing with the type of work that you do through the podcast, through the books, helping all these women to speak up and to like share their role in, or their purpose in life. So thank you so much for doing so, Sheena. And like what Moses said, women are good leaders. I totally agree with you on that, Moses. And women are more disciplined than men. And women are so dedicated, scared to make mistakes. Yeah, I mean, like I agree with you about the discipline and dedication, and I as well, like, Sheena also mentioned around the being afraid of making mistakes, but that's also something that we need to work on, in fact, right? Like we can make mistakes, right? And so that leads me to my last question. If you were to ask yourself a question that you can best answer, what would it be, Sheena? And since you can best answer it, please feel free to answer it for us.
Oh my gosh. So I have to ask myself a question that I'd be great at answering. I guess it would be, what would be that one tip for you to move forward? It's really just taking action. That's all it is, right? Surrounding yourselves with other people who will help you take that action, and being
Mhm.
okay to ask for help, because you don't have to do everything yourself, right? You can be in business for yourself, but you don't have to be in business by yourself.
Mhm. So what's the question actually?
Oh, what would you oh, my question would be, what tip would you give to a woman in their own journey, especially forging their own path?
Sorry, what tip will you give women?
Yeah, who are forging their own path.
Wow. And this is probably the usual question you ask yourself, and reason why you're doing whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Let me just put that on screen so that people who just came in can still see. So again, what tips will you give women who are forging their own path? So thank you so much for that. And again, your answer to that is moving forward, surround yourself with people
Yeah.
who can help you.
Yeah. And being okay to ask for help.
And being okay to ask for help. That's beautiful. And no wonder that's what you have been doing based on your work, right? So, if you were to leave us with any message after after this conversation, what else would you like to leave our audience with?
For the audience, really like, you know, it's okay to make mistakes, you know, not everything has to be perfect, and practice practice makes progress.
True, true. Thank you so much for that wonderful message. Very authentic and very inspiring. And thank you so much for inspiring a lot of us, especially Asian women and women of colors, for being able to step up it. For encouraging us to do so as well. So thank you so much, Sheena, for all your work. And thank you so much, Moses, for joining us throughout the session. I really appreciate your comments and your insights as well. And for those or for everyone who's watching us, thank you so much. And do join us in this journey to create more opportunities to make this world a better place to live in. And remember that the richest investor in this world would say that investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make in your life. So, with that, we would like to leave everyone with this quote from Dolly Parton that if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Thank you so much again, Shina, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks
Bye
for
for
having
now.
me.
Stay safe. Bye.